Some of the following audio used in this video was edited to have no lyrics for ambience and were renamed for the construction of a fanfiction. The following tunes are actually performed by Guns N' Roses, Black Sabbath, Aerosmith, Ozzy Osbourne, and Warrant. Original albums are owned under the label of Geffen, Vertigo, Epic, CBS of the United States, and Columbia Records. Please support the official release.
Chapter 1. Blank Flank?
It was a hot afternoon in Ponyville, mostly at Sweet Apple Acres. Springtime always brought the hottest days to the farm, most likely because it was away from society, and the Apple family was always working. Applejack has worked so hard in the fields that she tends to ignore it. She's always found that working hard can pay off, whether it involved making money for the family or building up more and more strength in her bucks. It was something she was so proud of. Today she was teaching her younger sister Applebloom how to buck apples off the trees. She wasn't really that interested. She would rather be out trying to get her cutie mark with her friends Sweetie Belle and Skootaloo.
So, aim at the center of the trunk to get most of the apples off the branches,
she said as she positioned herself next to the tree. Applebloom pretended to be interested.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't reach the center, then just try and make your mark as high as you can.
Yeah.
Then put all your strength into your hind legs and... Applebloom, how do you think you're going to harvest apples for the family if you can't learn to buck the trees properly?
You turn around, kick the tree, and the apples fall down. What's so professional about it?
It takes more than just kicking a tree. You need strength, strong will, and lots of practice.
Big Macintosh said that you kick the trees and put the apples in the bucket. Heck, he even taught me personally, and I did fine.
Well, that's our brother's way. I am trying to teach you the proper way to harvest.
And the difference is?
Just get over here and show me what you can do.
Applebloom slowly trotted to the front of the tree and gave it a good buck. Within seconds, all the apples fell to the ground, not a single one left behind. Applejack inspected her sister's work from top to bottom.
There, see, every apple hit the ground. Can I go now?
Not quite, sis. Your apples landed too far into the sun. You need to keep them close to the shade to keep them cool. Here, let me show you again.
Applejack!
Applebloom whined.
Why are you making me do this? My apple bucking is just fine.
I just want to teach you how to do it properly.
Applebloom gave an annoyed shrug.
Listen, Applejack, either the heat has gone to your head or you're overworking yourself as usual. Big Meg and I think you need to get out more, and not just during the weekends.
The weekdays are the most important days to harvest apples. I give my equal share of work and play just like you do with school.
Applejack said, laying down her standards.
You need to learn to do the same when you get out of school.
Applejack, I'm going on spring break for the next 2 weeks. Learning is something I'm trying to avoid at the moment. And I've spent the last 5 days doing this.
And it'll all be worth it. Now, I know this may not be how you wanted to spend your break, but there are things in life you just don't want to do, but you can't turn down.
But Applejack...
No buts, Applebloom. Now, let's try it again. This time, aim just a little higher.
Applejack!
Shouted an approaching voice in the distance. Applejack turned to see Twilight Sparkle, Fluttershy, and Rarity trotting up towards them.
Hey, girls!
Applejack said kindly.
Hey, Applejack. What are you doing?
Said Twilight Sparkle with a smile.
I'm teaching Applebloom here how to professionally harvest apples.
But isn't she supposed to be on spring vacation?
Asked Rarity.
Yep. She decided to spend it learning how to harvest from a professional.
I did not.
Hush, Applebloom. I'll get back to teaching you in a minute. Just go get something to drink or something.
Applebloom grunted as she took a drink from the bottled water she had set down on a stump.
Okay, then.
Said Rarity.
Personally, I find it fascinating that she's spending time learning something new.
Twilight said.
Anyway, Applejack,
What are y'all wearing around your necks?
Applejack interrupted Twilight after noticing they were all wearing a lanyard with a dangling tag.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Princess Celestia sent these to us.
Fluttershy floated forward, gripping her tag tight in her hooves to show Applejack.
The princess has given us, in all of Ponyville, a reward from the hard work from Winter Wrap-Up. We got these for making sure it turned out nice and organized this year.
Well, what did she send us?
Applejack, can you read the tag? These are the backstage passes for Blank Flank.
Applebloom spat out water the moment Fluttershy said the band's name.
Blank Flank? You going to see Blank Flank?
Rarity squeaked with excitement.
We were invited to the first concert on their world tour for the newest album.
Boys and ponies, I've been wanting to buy that album for months.
Who's Blank Flank?
Asked a confused Applejack. All the ponies just stared at her like she was crazy.
Applejack? What?
Asked Rarity.
You don't know who Blank Flank is? I mean, not that it's a problem.
Fluttershy said softly. Twilight stepped in.
Applejack, Blank Flank is a rock band composed of 6 ponies in the mid and early 20s that have been beloved for like 4 years now.
Rock music?
Applejack chuckled.
Applebloom I can understand, but you three being fans of that kind of music, I find hard to believe. I always thought you and Rarity liked the instrumental music and that Fluttershy preferred the chirps from her pet birds. No offense.
None taken.
Fluttershy said.
I actually do prefer the sweet whistling of birds than any music. But when I first heard Blank Flank, I just got hooked instantly.
Every pony looked at Fluttershy, shocked as her tone changed.
Well, I did keep the volume low when I heard their music.
I remember when they first came out on my last year of high school.
Rarity fantasized.
I remember hearing every pony talk about how much they loved each member of the band, and I had no idea what they were talking about. I was too busy with my dressmaking that I wasn't, how you say, in with the crowd. So I borrowed an album from my friend. The album was called Sickness for Rock, their first album to be exact. When I heard their song War Colts for the first time, I just wanted to hear more.
Wow, and this is coming from Rarity,
said Twilight.
I suppose y'all went to a concert too.
Applebloom joked, making the other ponies laugh. They knew Rarity was too classy for a loud, intense rock concert.
I did.
She said, causing all the ponies to stop surprised.
I was vacationing in Philadelphia at the time, and they were in town, so I went. I didn't stay long. The moment they came out and started playing, I may have gotten a bit rough on the other ponies blocking my view, so security threw me out.
All the ponies, including Applejack, were so shocked at Rarity's story that their mouths hung open.
At least I saw them in person. I've always envied Whiplash's mane, and I used to write love letters to their keyboard player, Slide. Ooh, of all the Pegasus in the world, he was the center of all my romantic fantasies.
She blushed.
I prefer Rash the bassist. He's more calm and collected when he performs.
Fluttershy added.
Shining Armor actually went to school with Whiplash. She's from Canterlot, you know.
You're kidding!
Yep, I always admired her, Rush, and Snap the Drummer. The magic those 3 unicorns use can create amazing effects during the concert.
You three are just being some silly fillies now.
Chuckled Applejack.
Well, you haven't heard about their 2 most beloved members of the band.
Said Applebloom.
The lead guitarist, Shredder. No pony can play a better rock music than him. He is the greatest electric guitarist ever. That riff he plays to open Sweet Philadelphia Man is just like Celestia raising the sun. Amazing. That's why he's my all-time favorite.
I'm guessing that's a song you play over and over in your room every night?
Duh, it's my favorite song.
Who's the other member?
Each pony giggled.
Thrash!
Applejack raised an eyebrow.
He's the youngest member of the group. His singing voice is so powerful and amazing that it can be heard for miles.
Said Fluttershy.
While living in Philadelphia, he learned how to do amazing acrobats off the streets, thus making him famous for performing unbelievable stunts on stage while he sings.
Applebloom said.
Well, ain't that mighty interesting?
Said a not-so-impressed Applejack.
Here, take your pass. The concert's tomorrow.
Twilight said, handing the pass to Applejack.
I'll pass. I'm not so much a rock fan, and I've got work to do tomorrow.
Oh, come on. Get Big Macintosh to cover for you. It'll be fun.
Well, I'm not so familiar with their music.
She then looked at her little sister, who was shocked that she turned down the ticket.
Tell you what, Applebloom seems mighty jealous of you three. Why not just give him a pass to her?
She said with a smile. She then walked to the red barn to fetch some pails for the apples.
Applejack, that's mighty nice of you.
Said Applebloom.
But you should go. You'll have fun. I know you.
Applejack didn't respond. She just went into the barn to fetch her pails.
Well, I guess I'm going to the concert with you after all. I hope you're okay with me going.
Better than wasting a ticket, at least.
Twilight said.
Still wish you would come.
What pony doesn't like rock?
Rarity asked.
I mean, I've heard that the members of this band are very sophisticated ponies.